Alright boys, here's a quick update. I've been working on this for the last, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours. It's a slow process, unfortunately, but here's what I did. My fingers are starting to cramp up, so I gotta stop for the night. Alright, I'll show you guys what I did. Okay, so you can see this grid-shaped pattern I made. Okay, editor's note, what you're looking at here is the ceiling of the burnt van that was completely burned up, and all of the headliner was completely removed. All the padding behind the headliner was completely burned away, so it was just bare metal. So what we're having to do is build out the padding and the thickness and the insulation of the headliner section before we put on the headliner. And the first step we tried was to use Super 77 spray glue to glue on these 3/4 of an inch thick polyethylene sheets that I happened to find in a package from something that we ordered on eBay. It was just some protective packaging material that I saved for this. I was like, you know what, this would be great for this. It was protective packaging for some type of item we ordered online. It was inside the cardboard box. And so I was saving some of that foam to use for this. It's nice flat, and it gives you that insulation layer so that if it were to rain or whatever, it's not so loud in the cab by hearing the loud raindrops hitting the ceiling. You've got some sound editing there. The problem was the Super 77 did not have the strength to adhere the polyethylene foam to the ceiling of the van. When it got to be a hot day, it started to melt or just get too warm, and it lost its stickiness, and the foam started to pull off the ceiling. So my second approach was to first use clear silicone, 100% silicone, to silicone glue 1000 denier nylon fabric to the ceiling of the van. I let that fully cure, so that's rock solid. Then I used a curved suturing needle to feed 3-foot sections of upholstery thread through that in a grid-like pattern. You're looking at that thread, which I first hung down in a grid-like pattern, once every 2 inches. I put another one. I made a grid like that, 2 by 2 inches, 2 inches by 2 inches, huge grid pattern across the entire ceiling of this headliner portion of the van, hanging a few feet of string every time. And then I stitched that string through the foam. So now the foam is having a mechanical connection to the ceiling of the van, so it cannot fall down anymore. It's about 2.5 inch spacing between, and you could see these are not tied off, but then these ones I have tied off real nice and tight, where you can see a little dimple. And so that's how I'm pinning it tight to the ceiling here. And you can see I've started on this one too. So this one is pretty much tightly pinned already, and this one will be able to come up next, and it'll look great. So this method of sewing it onto the fabric that I silicone to the ceiling is working out awesome. But it is a little bit tedious, but it's the best I could come up with, since the Super 77 was not sticky enough to pin that permanently to the ceiling.